Are you on? Are you here?
I'm here.
Are you alive?
I mean, barely. Can you hear it in my voice?
Listen to that sexy, raspy, husky
Oh my
voice.
gosh.
Did we already talk about how I answered the phone one day and it was my grandma on the other line?
No.
And she said, "Is this Julie?" And I said, "Yeah, how did you know?" She's like, "Oh, I can always tell it's you by your manly, husky voice."
What? She did not.
She did too.
I've always been told I have a deep voice, but I've not been called husky.
Yes, husky, raspy, manly voice. I'm a second alto, and I love singing first tenor. So, but Carly's the bass tonight.
I always thought that I couldn't sing, but it turns out that the only time I ever was singing was in a group of women. And it wasn't until I sang next to a man that I was like, oh, actually, I can sing. I just need to sing a lot lower.
Yes. I think I have more testosterone than estrogen pumping through my veins, but that's okay. It is post-Christmas, post-New Year's. We look like Christmas.
Oh, look at us.
I've got a black, of course, I'm going to a funeral, black hoodie. This is from True Wear. Shout out to True Wear. A U, University of Utah, and my hood just goes up like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Carly has on a green.
Look, my hoodie is a quarter zip. Isn't that crazy? It's a legit hoodie. It's quarter zip. And the best part about it, $20 at Costco. It says John Deere. And with all of the times that we've been on here saying, we're dressed for a funeral again.
No kidding. Did you do this on purpose?
I sat there. I was like, do I go with the black John Deere or the green John Deere? I was like, I better go with the green John Deere. So I have something that's not black.
So we're more colorful because I obviously I look in my drawer and I have all black. I need to be more colorful. I think that this whole last 3 years has not only aged me, but I dress darker. This has made me a worse person.
Your mood is darker.
I do. I feel dark and dreary, but we hope that you had a great Christmas and great New Year's. We've talked about a little bit about goals, a little bit about
feeling loved.
Yes, that's what it was. Feeling loved and feeling lost and getting through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the bloody, as I always like to say. But we are here in our cute little studio at the beginning of 2026. It's nice and rainy outside.
We've survived the
holidays, except for you didn't.
Flu.
Yeah, you got super sick.
This is the first time we've never traveled. My entire family has been sick. We had one kid that didn't get it super bad. The rest of us, it's like Christmas never happened, New Year's never happened. We're just alive. We have spent our entire break like on the couch.
And this is this is the first time that we have not been sick. When there's 9 of us, someone is bound to be sick. The probability is like so high. And then when one person is sick, we're sick for weeks and weeks because we just infect each other.
Yeah.
Yes, I live in a cesspool
of germs.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. So anyway, we're here and excited to be with you. Thanks for the comments. Were you saying that we should remind them to subscribe?
Yes, I was telling Julie that, all the big podcasters, they're always like, it's annoying, but they always say, please like and subscribe. It really helps the podcast. And it's true.
Yep.
I don't like to be the annoying.
I know we hate saying it. Like even my kids, everybody makes fun of it. Hit that like button and subscribe. But
yes,
I mean, it's how the algorithm pushes you. It's how other people find out about you. It's what pushes this into other feeds that normally wouldn't go in those feeds is when you like and share and comment and all the things. And even though it's annoying, we're going to do it too. Because it's how it works.
Well, we're just trying to help Julie out, and that's one of the ways we can do it, right?
That's exactly right. So, anyway, tonight there are so many things that we could talk about, and there are so many things that I want to get into, and still can't get into all the dirty details. But
today sucked, you guys.
It did suck.
Like today is the day that sucked. We are recording. This is one of those days that I text Julie and I say, are you sure you still want to record today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Stuff is so fresh and so maddening. I mean, maybe we can tell them a little bit, right? I mean.
Yeah, generalities, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Until I can say the full thing because I still have to be cautious, which is super annoying, even with the gag order lifted.
Well, you're not sure still what you want to do yet, right? What your response is going to be.
Basically, you all know that we had trial in May. We got and then a judge has typically, they have 6 months to decide. They can take as long as they dang well please. So we heard it's on average 2 months later. So we got the ruling in July, which I prevailed in. It was an amazing
It was
ruling.
such a good ruling, and it was so fair for you.
58 pages, 4-day trial, $50,000. And I was like, yes, that was so worth it.
But for people who don't know, how much does a day in court cost?
Oh my gosh. I mean,
for you, just one side, isn't it? Didn't you say it's like $10,000 a day to go to trial?
Yeah.
Because you're paying a lot of people to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I had both of my attorneys there because they are skilled in different things and different roles. And then I had my strategist, who is a domestic violence national expert, Dana Tingey with High Ground Divorces. She was there. And then you're paying court fees and court clerks, and you're paying the judge, and you're paying the recorder. And I mean, you're paying for everything. So it's like, it's $10,000 a day.
It was more than that, because if it cost you $50,000 and you're there 4 days.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was...
you're talking 13
at least, because I'm paying 2 attorneys at the time, and you're paying for the breaks. You know, you're paying for them being in the conference room and looking over things and studying things and strategizing, and then they go home and still work on things. You know,
and you pay attorneys by the hour.
Yeah,
this is not a per job.
Like $300+ an hour. I mean, they're charging you for texts, they're charging you for phone calls. And, you know, you want to, I think one of the biggest frustrations for clients of attorneys is that I would always say, well, I'm just going to write like 5 questions in one email. So they just respond to that one email. So they're not going to, you know, write me 5 different emails and charge me by the email. But then they don't answer all your questions. They might answer one of them, but I'm like, look, I did bullet points. Question number 1, does this happen? Question number 2. But then they'll do like a couple of sentences back. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, which is why I love Christensen Law. Wes Hutchins was like the whisperer to my nervous system.
He really was so dang calm. I was so impressed. I actually went up to him and told him how impressed I was after seeing him litigate. Like, his lawyering was... Well,
you're probably talking about Steve.
Oh, Steve,
yes. But yes. Wes was he is kind of the... I don't want to say backbone, but he is he
was a behind the scenes guy.
Yeah. And he knew the ins and outs of everything, while Steve was the cool, calm, collected cucumber.
Yeah.
That was that 4 C's.
Cool, calm,
collected cucumber.
Yeah. Way to go with your alliteration.
Oh my goodness.
You might be a professional yet.
Yeah. So he was very chill, another C, and he was quiet. He was like Jesus, the silent listener to every conversation, but he'd chime in just when you needed him. But then Wes would give him information and feed it to him. But anyway, that all was, you know, a lot of money.
They were so good though, because like, as I watched them, you could just tell that they were making use of every moment. They were not taking advantage. The guys didn't even eat.
No, yeah.
I mean, they used every minute. So even though you paid them a lot, it didn't feel like you were wasting your money. Like these guys, I was super impressed, and I liked how they treated you.
Yeah. If there is any advice that I could give about stepping into this realm of family court,
avoid it at all costs. But if you have to,
or just lawyers in general. Or if you're in like financial distress and you're crippled financially, emotionally, all the things, I think that the 2 pieces of advice that I would give to anyone about to enter this part of hell would be, number 1, maybe I already said this, to find compassionate lawyers. I think I said this because my first lawyer was like, pay me $18,000 or I drop you. Yeah. So find compassionate lawyers. And number 2 would be to pay your tithing. Because those 2 things were the only reasons I'm still afloat, was because they were willing to work with me and allow me to kind of be on a payment schedule instead of like, you keep current or we drop you. There's no way that someone in that can keep current.
Well, it seems like a law firm that would do that would only be representing the fully employed, you know, out of the 2 people in a divorce, they only want the one that's going to win because they have the most money. They're never going to actually support the people who need it. Yeah.
So this is a huge shout out to Christensen Law, because they are actually helping victims. And I don't mean just victims of violence, I mean like of physical abuse and violence, but actual victims of family law, honestly, and the family court system and all of the secret underground combinations that are involved and the circles of secrecy and manipulation and control and power that goes on behind the scenes, underneath the scenes, in those underground tunnels, those
I doubt we know a fraction of what.
I know. Yeah.
You just know that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody, the judges in the land, they have a lot of power. Anybody, I mean, as a cop's kid, I never understood why people disliked police, because my vantage point, my viewpoint was always, they were like my uncles, and, they treated me well, and I've always had good experiences, and I've loved them, and they've loved me. And I walk up to cops on the street, and I make them my friend in 30 seconds. We share stories, and I enjoy them, but that's because of the vantage point that I had.
Right.
And you talk to other people that haven't had those experiences, and you understand why they don't like them. And family law is no different. You can have a fantastic experience, or you can have a horrible one. And your first experience was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. With my first attorney. Yeah. It was.
And these other attorneys, though, are like the good cops.
Yeah,
they are the good cops.
Because there
of
are
law.
dirty cops too.
Right. There's dirty cops, dirty lawyers, dirty judges. It's anywhere that there is power and money and control. You're just going to find corruption.
And the power of speech. Who was it? Korihor? One of the guys in the scriptures that was so good with his words and could twist and manipulate anything.
Yeah. They're wordsmiths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's no wonder why, sorry for you non-LDS people, but in the Book of Mormon, it talks about a wicked, governor, a wicked king. Was he a king? Noah? Yes, King Noah.
Yeah.
And God tells little Nephi, or teenager Nephi, or this young kid, to kill him, to kill to kill Noah. And he's like, I've never killed a man. Well, I'm not going to do that. And he said, it's better that one man should perish than a whole nation should dwindle.
About killing, not Abinadi.
Laban.
Yeah, you're talking about killing Laban. Yeah.
And although it was the same with King Noah too, right? It's better than, I'm mixing the stories, I think, but the same principle applies.
It comes in the first couple books of the book.
So Noah is a wicked king, and Laban is a wicked man who is in power. And it's better that they should die than the whole nation
should perish. Yeah, than the whole
should
nation.
dwindle in unbelief because of this one person. It's the same thing in family court and family. Maybe that's a terrible example.
Let's
but
be clear what you're saying here, though. Julie's not telling anybody to unalive anybody. That is not what we're saying. We are not saying that at all, unequivocally. We're just saying that one bad apple kills the whole bunch.
Did you guys see, those of you that watching, my mind was like ticking and talking while she was talking? I was like, wait a second. What
her analogy was starting to break down, and I was starting to see it.
Yes, I was not thinking of that. All I was saying is that these men in power and women in power do bad things because there's no accountability, and there's what's called immunity. And they are off the hook no matter what happens.
It's the same in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And you understand, as a kid, again, who saw it in real life, you understand why they need immunity. Yeah. But if you use it unrighteously, it is a very bad thing.
It's a very dangerous thing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, back to what we were saying, I had that 4-day trial, $50,000 later. He objected to that and filed a motion to reconsider, which was basically, the judge got it wrong. Let's do this again. And
in a normal circumstance, in a normal situation, I was trying to combine those two words.
Yeah.
That would have gone back to Judge Kelly.
Yes. So I had Judge Keith Kelly, who was an amazing judge in 3rd District, but he retired September 16th. I got my ruling in July. So they strategically, we believe,
waited until that judge was going to be gone.
Yep. And they file a motion to reconsider the ruling. Like, change this. We don't agree. Judge Kelly was erroneous, they claimed. And then
a guy who's been doing it so long, he retired.
Yes.
A guy who knows what he's doing.
Yep.
Was erroneous.
So we have a new hearing with a new judge November 7th. And that came and went, and it was a 2-hour hearing. So we had a 4-day trial, and the petitioner and his crap team tried to undo a 4-day ruling in my favor in 2 hours. and said that the judge got it wrong and this was unfair, and he used an abuse of discretion, because in family law, judges have discretion, and the only things that really can be changed are if they messed up with the law. But you can't really object to a discretionary decision, because that's the power of a judge. He made a judgment
call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but they said, no, he used an abuse of discretion, and he threw Judge Kelly under the bus, Alex, the petitioner's attorney. And so they wouldn't have done that if Judge Kelly was still on the bench.
Nope.
They would have been very different. But we've just barely got that second ruling today. And all I can say is that they basically prevailed in undoing everything that was done.
Not everything. When Julie first told me, I was super concerned that like the monthly stuff went down significantly. And I mean, it is significant, but it's in the hundreds of dollars, not in the thousands of dollars. My worst case scenario was thousands of dollars.
Well, but then it's the ripple effect, right? Because everything that happened within the last 3 years, now they recalculate.
Right.
With new numbers.
So in the long run, it does affect things like how much money do you each get out of the house, and all of those things, they do ripple, and it does affect it. And so it was a big blow to Julie.
Yeah.
It was a big blow.
Yeah.
And that sucks bad.
Sucks way bad. So I've felt deflated all day. I have felt hopeless. I have felt worthless, like, again, I'm sitting there with the group, and I'm not a man hater, but I'm sitting there. I know there's so many women that have that opinion of like, I remember that this is kind of off topic, but like, and maybe unfair of me to say, but the second counselor in the bishopric was giving me a temple recommend. This was a couple years ago. Turns out he is inactive and like left the church. Rarely comes. Was kind of always that way, but as a member of the bishopric, he was more active.
Oh, interesting.
But I was like, wait, why do you get to tell me whether or not I'm worthy enough to have a temple recommend when you're totally inactive? Like, it's just, it bothers me. Not enough to.
Why was he in that calling?
I don't know. Maybe he was more active at the time. I don't know all the details, but it bugged me. So it bugs me that I've got this male judge who was not there for trial, who was not the trial judge, and just taking in about 2 hours of oral argument from, opposing counsel and my team, and then just taking their side and saying, well, I'm going to grant this motion. I'm going to grant that one too. And the only thing that he denied was that the petitioner, we filed a motion the day before trial. And the reason we filed that motion the day before trial was because that was when we received the information that was requested and required from the petitioner. They sent it in too late, again, strategically, so it can't be allowed because it's untimely. We filed a motion saying, look, we didn't receive this on time, and so we have to file this now. And then our motion was denied for untimeliness because we got all the information untimely.
Right.
And so they said, we should have attorney fees. She should have sanctions for filing this and taking time away from the court and the judge when we should be preparing for trial. The only thing he denied was punishing me. So the only thing he denied was sanctions against me for filing that and saying it was harmless. But this was all strategy. This was let's wait till he's retired. Let's take this up with a new judge who doesn't know anything about it.
It wasn't just a different judge. It was a new judge in family court. That's what is so crazy. You went from a retiring expert judge who read it a totally different way, and you have a brand new baby judge that is easily manipulated, apparently. So,
and I can't say, I don't know what he did. He said this isn't going to take a long time. It ended up taking 2 months, just as long as it took the first time. Came today, January 2nd, the day after the holidays. Like, I don't know what he did. I don't know who he talked to. It sounds like he says Judge Kelly made a mathematical error. Like, he didn't include, I guess when you calculate child support, you're supposed to take that out of the petitioner's monthly amount or something. Okay. And they're saying that wasn't calculated, but it was assumed. I don't know. I just was glancing through it because my heart was racing, but that wasn't the big blow for me. The blow was what I was awarded in the first ruling, which was a large chunk of change.
Yeah.
Lots of fees were going to be reimbursed and taken care of, and that just was completely switched.
Do you know yet? Have you talked to your attorneys? Do you know what you can do? Like, can you go back and say, no, this isn't right?
I guess I'm waiting for them to look over it, but they'll kind of diagnose and see what we can do, if it's worth doing. And I think the only thing that you can do next is appeal. And then it goes to an appellate court.
So you can appeal, and it will go to the appellate court.
And I said, how do you say that? Appellate?
Appellate. That's how I hear it.
Yeah, appellate. Do you want to explain appellate court?
Well, they're the ones that the normal court answers to, basically. But I don't know it in family law. I only know from more like criminal law, because that's what I watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
my YouTube education, YouTube University. But basically, as you go through a trial, criminal attorneys will always keep things on the record, and they'll always follow certain rules and make sure things are correctly done, so that when they get the verdict and they don't like it, they can appeal under the grounds of these things to the appellate judges. So judges, there's always a recourse. There's always somebody that you can go to if you don't like it. But to get things overturned in criminal law is very, very hard. Most things, when they hit the appellate court, you don't win. You do sometimes, but not often.
And that's what's so maddening, is because everything that I was told about a reconsideration after a 4-day trial and a 58-page decree of facts and findings, that they're not going to change much. He spent hours and hours doing this 58-page decree and facts and findings and conclusions of law, and they're not going to change much on attorney fees granted.
And even ChatGPT says, don't worry about it. You guys, ChatGPT is garbage.
Yeah, and it's just going to tell you what you want to hear, and I let it influence me just because it made me feel better. I just said, why is this taking so long? And it said, look, this is good news for you. If it was going to change, the judge would have done it a lot more quickly. And so this is just hang tight. It's unlikely anything will change. And then everything changed. And so I think that's what was so discouraging, because
everywhere you looked,
everybody had said to me, even including my own attorneys, like, no, not much is going to change. And then lo and behold, this new judge just says,
it just it makes my brain crazy, because it makes me start to think, well, where is the conspiracy in this? This went against all of the norm, all of the expectations,
and it could be because the petitioner's counsel is a former commissioner. And I would think that he probably has some ins or some avenues.
It's who
some tunnels, if you will, that, can change the playing cards.
Changes the trajectory. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. And I'm not here to make the assumptions, but it's pretty sus to me. And
that's what makes, and I don't know if it's the Charlie Kirk of it all for me, if I'm just looking for conspiracies.
Right.
But
it's not fair.
It just doesn't seem fair at all.
No. To change the whole thing after 4 days and testimony and expert witnesses and expert accountants, that's why I've been heartbroken, and I have felt worthless. And I mean that because you just feel degraded as a woman. I cannot win against the patriarchy. I cannot win against these men in power who are going to protect the other men, the big boys club.
It feels like they protect their own interests.
Yeah.
And it feels like the reason why we like Christians in law is because they have empathy, but it feels like the rest of the system is lacking it.
Right.
It feels the reason why you went to trial is because there was so much mediation, and not because you didn't want to settle, because you tried mediation. You wanted mediation. You didn't want to go to trial.
Yeah.
And I think a good attorney, a good judge can sift through those things and see, this mother of 8 children doesn't actually have all of this money to go to trial, but she's willing to fight for her kids. You're not vindictive. You're not just, a scorned woman. You simply wanted what was just and fair, and you're going to fight tooth and nail for it.
Right. And I will say that I still, even with this second ruling, have been awarded more than I offered him in mediation. I tried to be fair in mediation and offer him an amount that I knew would be
doable
for him. And he walked out on that. We have now 2 trials basically, and I still am awarded more, even with the second ruling, than I offered, and that he could have paid, but
he could have taken it.
Yeah, taken is the word.
Yeah, my point is, I think the first judge saw this clearly, and I think the second one didn't.
Yeah, 100%. And it's maddening, and I don't know what to do about it other than appeal, which then goes to the appellate court, who is the judges overseeing the judge.
Yep.
And making a decision, and that's almost impossible to get changed. But, my lawyers say, well, I said, Wes, I'm not going to win that. I'm not going to win that. I've lost every hearing. I mean, if you've been listening to this podcast since the beginning, when I played the commissioner saying how wrong I am and how basically I have infiltrated the kids' minds with garbage and brainwashing and alienation and all the things. I mean, I'm used to these hearings and the unfairness of them. What's going to this isn't going to go in my favor at an appellate court. And he says, well, no, you can undo the undoing. And
I do think that that's what you have going for you, is the original judgment from the original judge. I think that especially appellate courts, as far as I understand it, there is a hierarchy.
Yeah.
And if you're an appellate judge, you're a respected, seasoned, all of that kind of thing. And they may know Judge Kelly and may respect Judge Kelly and may say, I wonder why he did that. And they may say, this new judge was off his rocker. You give that.
I guess my only worry is if this new judge talked to Judge Kelly. And maybe
I doubt it.
I don't know.
There's no reason why Judge Kelly would say, undo my ruling.
Yeah. And that's what's, I guess, so frustrating and heartbreaking about this, is because what was the point of trial? Why did I park so far away and walk 3 miles to the courthouse when I couldn't pay for parking? Clawing my way to the finish line to get to trial, to have my day in court, as they say, just to have it all undone in 2 hours.
Remember last podcast how we talked about what the purpose of prayer is?
Yeah.
What if the purpose of trial is not what you think it was?
Yeah, you're right. I just don't want to even...
Have you ever heard the... I haven't thought about this for a long time, so I can't tell you exactly. It's kind of like a proverb situation, but there's a story where this man is asked to hold this huge boulder and push it up a mountain. And endlessly. He does it for a crap long time, right? Forever. And eventually, whoever told him to come back comes back and he says, I'm so sorry. I wasn't able to push this rock up the mountain. And the guy says, well, that wasn't the point. And the dude's like, well, then what was the point? If you didn't want this rock up the mountain, he says, look at your shoulders. Look at your back. Mm-hmm. Look at the muscle that you have grown. Look at who you are. It was never about the rock. It's about creating you. Mm-hmm. And you had to stand up and go against even family in this scenario.
Yes.
Not just an ex-husband, but you had to do what you knew it was right to your core, going against all odds. And if that didn't prove to anybody else, it proved to Julie that Julie can do it. Because you had 8 children that you were standing up for.
But I still have this battle in my brain, culture and what we learn in Relief Society. Was I being a peacemaker, or was I just causing more contention?
No.
I know. And that's where I go.
Okay, here's the problem. There are peacemakers and peacekeepers. Mm-hmm. They are different. If you're going to call rolling over and letting yourself be abused and walked all over to be a peacemaker, it's not a peacemaker. Yeah. You're being abused. Yeah. You want to be a peacekeeper, which means setting boundaries. It means not being walked all over.
But is it at the cost of $300,000? That's where I'm where family or friends have said, yeah, but now you're just financially ruined. Was it worth it? Well, and
did you prove anything in the meantime? Did you accomplish anything in the meantime?
Yeah, I mean, I found out a lot of things about the petitioner that I didn't know were going on, and things that helped me detach from the petitioner. Otherwise, I might still be pining for him and wishing that he would come home. And
do you parent your children differently because of what you learned?
Yeah.
Is their relationship different because of what happened
with him, or
all of it?
Yeah.
If you look at this situation, it's not about the money. It's It's not about control. It's
Yeah,
not
it was
about making things hard. It is about making sure that you have some semblance of fairness. It is about holding people accountable. I mean, the problem with people in general, do you take that?
No, I got a kiddo calling me. I'm just going to say I'm podcasting. You're okay. Keep going.
Well, now I lost my train of thought. Maybe I should pause it. What was I saying?
I know. And I've got kids that keep calling me and they know what I'm doing and I can't concentrate. You were saying something about the problem.
This is why I like Marco Polo. I've said that before.
I know, and go back.
What I said.
She just wouldn't stop calling me. But I was going to say, when I said, was it worth like $300,000 in attorney fees? Like, I didn't know that it was going to get to that point.
And you also don't know what would have happened had you not done it.
Yeah.
Right? What happens if you just say, okay, I will settle for anything. You give me $5 a month and that's great. I don't want to push you. I don't want to put you out. I want you to go and have your life and live it and be happy and don't worry about us here. Like, okay, great. So now he's living this fantastic life. What happens to you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's say you do the opposite. I think that people, when they're judgmental, they say or think something and then they don't project it out far enough.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't fight. What does it look like when the judge gives you enough that if he pays it, you can live a decent life? Your kids will be okay, right? Versus you saying, oh, it's okay. We can live on food stamps and I'll go and work the corner, you know? Like, what does that get you?
Yeah. And I will say, for any of you that are listening or watching, Dana Tingy, who was my domestic violence national expert, taught me this, because all of the women that are clients of hers say the same thing. We all say the same thing. I don't care about the money. I just want what? What do you think?
Freedom?
Yeah. But what is it that who you're trying to protect?
Your kids.
Your kids. I don't care about the money. I just want the kids. I just want the kids. That he can take everything he wants. He can take the house. He can take the cars, the boats, the assets. I just want the kids. And she's like, I get what you're saying. I realize that that's a woman's heart, a mother's heart. But what we don't understand, and if you don't understand this and you're going to go into the family court system where you're about to enter into this, again, corner of hell, custody can change at any time. It is not sealed or set in stone. The only things that don't change, unless you're me, are spousal support and like asset division. You cannot change those. But apparently, if you file a motion to reconsider,
with a new judge,
then your alimony can change, and it can go in favor of whoever has filed the motion. It can be granted. But if you're not me, those are the only things.
Generally speaking,
spousal support or alimony and assets do not change. But if you say, I just want the kids, he can have everything, he can have all the money, and you agree to that in mediation, so he gets to keep everything, he doesn't have to pay you anything, but you got your kids, 6 months later or a month later, he can file a motion to modify.
Well,
and change custody. So then he'll have all the money and all the assets and everything that can't be changed, and get the kids, because you have nothing to defend yourself with.
Not just to defend yourself, but like, let's talk about the frustration that comes. I mean, Juliet and I were just talking about how it's frustrating when something doesn't work out and parent time is not taken.
Yeah.
And if it's a long period of time like Christmas, that's also a financial burden on you, right? Because it's not just that he is, like, let's say your significant other doesn't pay child support. Okay, let's just say that doesn't happen. Then in addition to not paying that, then you have to find even more money to house and feed your children when they don't do their parent time. Right? Yeah. So it's like, it's not about money, like, I don't care about the house. And no, you don't care about living in a nice place. It's not about that. It's about, you should care that when your children, you can feed them, clothe them, house them, gas up your cars. Like, all of this stuff takes money. Yes, you want your children, but do you want CPS to come and take them because they're stuck in the same diaper for 4 days?
Right.
Or, and if you have no finances from the beginning, he's going to go off, find a new mom for your kids, have a great house, and then once you're all beaten to crap and he can prove that your kids are living in squalor, it's very easy to pluck them away and say, they have a better home here.
Yep.
It's strategic.
And then the kids want to go because they get
Disneyland.
wined and dined. Yep.
Yeah.
And so
you have to be like, you can't be myopic, And the problem is what narcissists do, and whether they're men or women, but narcissists will separate you from your support system.
Mm-hmm.
They'll beat you to hell, not just physically. They'll do that sometimes, but not all the time. It's emotionally. So you're ready to say, I'm worthless. I can't fight him. It's not worth it. He's just going to tear me down, all of these things. And so you don't fight.
Yeah.
You're just happy with whatever he will give you.
Yes, and that's why my bishop would say it's the battle of attrition. Who can outlast the other?
It's wrestling. Did you know I managed the wrestling team in both junior high and high school? Because my buddies were on the wrestling team. And the thing that surprised me the most about wrestling is that they ran on the mats like you would run track or like you would run, for any other sport. Because the wrestlers that won were not typically the biggest, the bigger they are, the harder
they had more cardiovascular.
When you wrestle, it is
so exhausting.
So exhausting. So yes, if you could endure physically, if you had the most endurance, cardiovascular and otherwise, right? Like your muscles and all of the things, you win.
Yeah.
You stay on that mat, you keep your back off the mat, and you will win.
Yeah.
And so it's the same with court.
Exactly.
But it also has to do with how much money are you willing to throw at it? Because it is a dollar bill game.
Oh my gosh.
And
I think that's one of the things I was telling Carly today that I was so frustrated with is like, I mean, because after hearing news like that, I was,
pissed.
Yeah. And heartbroken and felt betrayal. And you feel like this triggered trauma response all over again. It's like you're re-traumatized and you're thinking back on having to see him in court and having to hear him testify and say things that are untrue.
And you being on stand and what that feels like to be on stand.
But like, it made me irritable too. So my kid says something and I'm snapping because I'm just so angry at what I've just read. And so you become like in the snap of a finger, just irritable and grumpy. And I'm yelling at them for pouring too much milk in their cereal. And I'm yelling at them for taking too many pieces of paper towel because I don't have the money to go buy more rolls of paper towels. And I'm yelling at them for using too much toilet paper because I go in and the toilet is clogged with too much toilet paper, and you're upset with them because they come home with a birthday invitation and you're like, oh my gosh. And you're already cursing the name of the kid having a birthday party. And the kids are like, what the heck is wrong? And I'm like, I can't buy a birthday present for some other kid. I can barely buy a birthday present for you, and then you're cursing Christmas and holidays and everything that is coming that
should bring joy.
That should bring joy, but actually sucks the life out of you. Sucks you dry.
It creates anxiety.
Yes. And it's just burnout, and I'm burned out to the ground.
I feel like what people forget, I mean, I've been married so long. I've literally been married longer than I wasn't married. Right.
Yes.
And you forget that, so we were so sick during break and it was awful, but like he got it first and then I got it towards the end. And so we took care of each other and the kids, right? Like I was doing it all while he was sick and then
divide and conquer, but
yes,
just
we divide and conquer. Right. But with you just have to conquer. But what you forget too is when you're describing all of this and how you feel, there's nobody to climb into bed with at the end of the day and to steal their nervous system and to cuddle for a minute and just say, I just need to be calm.
Yeah.
There's nobody to come and say, Julie, I've got you. We'll figure this out. There's nobody for you.
There's no reprieve
there's
at
nobody
the end of the
coming
day.
in to help Julie. You're helping everybody. It's not just that you're having to help everybody else. It's that you're helping everybody else and then nobody's coming in to help you.
Yeah. And it's exhausting. And so then a kid comes in who's wet the bed or who's crying and has a stomach ache. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because the patience meter is down to 0.
Yep.
So I wrote some things down. I guess if you're about to enter this world or if you are in it or if you have a loved one that is wanting to file for divorce or something.
Be the petitioner.
Yes. Yeah.
Always
be the petitioner.
Do it first.
Do it first. Don't delay. I did not do it because I was going to fight, but the petitioner always has the final say, and that is always an advantage in court. But there was the cost of lawyers. I have paid my lawyers I have a bill of $275,000, which is now down to $161,000. So I've paid some of it, a lot of it, but I have that much more to go, plus a mortgage on top of that, plus whatever.
All the bills.
Yeah. And
it just gets
whatever
worse.
he was awarded just today. And then you sometimes are having to, what's the word? You're required to get a custody evaluator, a guardian, and they come and they evaluate the way you parent your children. Then you'll get a guardian ad litem who is an attorney for your kids, who represents them. You have to pay him or her on top of it. Then you have special masters who are judges that are kind of on your case in the interim, like waiting between now and trial, but you need someone to make the decisions now. That's a special master. Then you've got the mediators that you're paying for. I remember in my mediation, it was awful and he was horrible. And at the end of the day, he slaps his phone in my face with his Venmo and says, "You owe me $750.
What?
And just like zero. He didn't care. There was no feeling. It was just pay me. I just mediated and it went nowhere.
This is why I have been told that the average family law attorney lasts 3 years, and they go to some other law, some other legal specialty.
It's so exhausting. I don't know how
miserable. These are miserable people. It just sounds miserable.
Gosh. So then I guess there was benefits of it being a public divorce, because this is all public and I am talking about it now that I'm able to, but so many people have heard and known and felt compassion and have reached out, whether by message or monetarily. They'll send me a random Venmo and send me something anonymously at my doorstep, and that has been helpful, but also it's very public and painful. But for those that it's not public for, or they're suffering in silence without the help.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because you've also been on the receiving end of criticism that you wouldn't get if people didn't know.
Yeah. I had a therapist who said to me, because I was trying to save everything. He's like, put your marriage, I think we talked about this, put your marriage on the shelf. We're not even talking about your marriage. At this point, I want you to set up a separate account, put all your money in there, and get everything that you can from the church and from financial aid from wherever you can get it, and start stockpiling money. And I was like, what? I didn't take that advice because I thought it was wrong. I thought I was using the church and using all this aid. But really, it was what I should have done. I should have been preparing myself and pulled a Jennifer Lopez on Enough, one of my favorite movies, and put things aside, and because I was going to need it. But instead, I just was like, no.
Well, here's the thing: is for women listening, let's say Julie had been right and everything had worked out. Okay, so now you have the stockpile of money. You could use it for good, right?
Yes.
If you're sitting in that situation, you say, I don't want to believe that it's over. I don't want to take this advice.
Yeah.
Just do it. And then if it all works out, great. You've got $5,000 sitting there. You go help somebody else.
It's because I felt
right?
guilty, putting money aside that I was making and then having the church help me.
Right. Oh, I totally get it. But
I was I can't do that. That's
if that
wrong.
is your attitude, then that means that you're somebody who understands the value of money. You're not trying to take advantage of the church. You just need to look at it as trying to take care of your children, because if you don't, they're going to have to anyway. Yeah. Right? So
I should have done it. If you're listening, do it. Because
just find all the resources.
Yeah, all the resources. I'm not even just saying the church, but I'm a member of the church, and so because I'm an active member, they were willing to help with things like my mortgage or a medical bill that wasn't being covered, by with his half or mine for that matter, and I couldn't pay for anything. And so this therapist, who was also a member of the church, said, put it all aside, use everything that the church will give you. And I was floored that we would say that, and I felt it was wrong,
If you had a bank account with $50,000 in it,
right?
Okay, that would be terrible advice. Don't do that. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you are being abused,
getting a paycheck,
so if you have $0, then doing what this counselor advised you to do is sound advice. Yeah, we're not telling everybody to use and take advantage of. If I look at these situations when I'm talking to Julie, and I'm like, I was telling my husband the other day, we're never going to get divorced, but I told him, I said, I know that if we were getting divorced, you would be working at 3 a.m. loading Amazon trucks to make sure that your kids were eating. I know you. Even if you and I couldn't stand each other, you would be working so freaking hard for your kids. Yeah. And if that's the kind of person that you are and you still can't make it work, if you are legitimately doing everything that you can and it's not enough, that is what tithing and fast offering is for. That is why the church steps in. That is the purpose of it. And if I am somebody that makes $200,000 a year and sees somebody in that situation, I say, I hope my tithing is going to help them. I hope my fast offering is going to help them. I might put some money in a mailbox, right? Like, you have to allow your brain to think that there are people who want to help you.
Yeah.
There are people who would love to help you. There are a lot of people like me who sit back and say, I have money, but I don't want to give it to somebody just I don't know. Like, I want to wait until I see somebody who I know needs it. And you're the person that I would be. You know what I mean? It's like, allow yourself to see that. Allow yourself to.
And I did. The problem was,
it was too late.
It was too late, because I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, I have to make this work. I was, again, relying on myself. But the problem is that when I did start to do that and did accept the help and did accept the anonymous money and church help and financial aid, that was used against me as income. Like, look, she's received all this financial help. She's making more money than she's reporting. She's a liar. She's gotten all this funding. So I guess
the better advice would be listen to what that counselor said and then go to an attorney and say, what can I do to mitigate that, what Julie is describing? What can I do from a legal standpoint in getting all of these things?
And I will tell you the answer to that is 4 letters. CASH. Cash. Just use cash. Stop depositing. Stop using the bank. Use Visa gift cards. That's what these men do to get out of paying. Use cash at all costs so that it's not tracked, and so that they don't use that against you. Like, because I'd be depositing someone a check that somebody gave me a $6,000 check, which was so gracious and so kind. It was a guy from the gym, doesn't know me from Adam. Gave me $6,000 because he's just loaded and sweet and old, and I see him at the gym and we're friends. Gave me a $6,000 check, and I deposited it. And opposing counsel says she made $6,000 she didn't report. And I was like, this was a gift. This is not my job. I didn't receive this for working. But I didn't know that this would happen.
I have heard, maybe we should talk to a forensic accountant on here one day, because I have heard that there are these, I am a woman, and so I talk to other women more than I talk to men. So when I say I've heard there are men, I'm sure there are women who have done this too, but I've heard there are men who will hide their assets in so many different creative ways, like these Visa gift cards that are like credit cards, but they're basically cash. There's all sorts of stuff that they do to hide their assets. Right. And it's my brain. It's one of those moments in time.
It's just deceiving.
It's so deceiving. But it's one of those moments in time that my dad would be like, well, of course you don't get it, Carly. You don't think like a criminal. You have to think like a criminal, you know?
Yeah, we can't go there because we're decent.
We haven't trained our brains to screw people over.
No, exactly.
To be dishonest. That's not who we are.
No.
So we get taken advantage of by those who are.
So that's just some lovely advice, tips from a scorned, bitter, resentful ex. I should not label myself as that because I don't want to be that.
You are going to work to not be that, but today you get to be. I told Julie she has every right to be angry and mad and feel unseen and unloved and all of the things that she's feeling. Today is the day. Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I realized that some things probably wouldn't go in my favor, but I didn't think it would completely undo everything.
Drastic.
Yeah. And it is drastic. It's just this domino effect of a tsunami, right? It just starts with something miles and miles away, comes closer and closer, and then slams inland. And that's how my heart is feeling, just like broken and shattered. And then that goes throughout my whole body and my nervous system. And anyway, so I am not in a good mood, but we're going to end this on a positive. Give me a positive, Carly.
The positive here is you're still the same Julie. You're going to wake up tomorrow. You're going to go and you're going to kick trash at the gym. You're going to go be a really good mom.
I'm going to love on my puppies.
Yeah, you're going to love on the puppies. You're going to keep showing up for your kids, and you're going to be the mom that you know you need to be. Yeah. You're not going to fail anybody.
No, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep going. I am going to keep fighting because I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it helps other women to come forward, not to bend over and not to think that custody is everything, because that can always change, and you deserve to fight for what you want, not just to keep the peace.
And my dad, I always hear my dad in my brain say, life's not fair. It wasn't meant to be fair. But you have every right to fight for what is fair. You may not get it,
Yeah.
but why
I can
would
say
you
I
not
went all the
fight
way.
for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fight for what is fair.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. And I plan to. So thank you for watching or listening.
Sorry it got long again,
Yes,
guys.
we just can't help ourselves. Like, subscribe, review, comment, all the things. And we'll see you next time.
So now you know what it means to be